As we mature in faith, we don't go from dependence to independence, but the opposite. Grace works to make independent people willing to be more dependent on God. Psalm 127 is in the Bible to remind us that we weren't designed to make it on our own. Psalm 127 is a wisdom psalm. It confronts us with the insanity of loading all the burdens of life on our shoulders and trying to make it on our own. This psalm is attributed to Solomon and is an expose of the foolishness of self-sufficient living. Let me read Psalm 127. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives his beloved sleep. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gate. Now, this is important to understand. As we mature in faith, we don't go from dependence to independence, but the opposite. Grace works to make independent people willing to be more dependent on God. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who labor and build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. Now, these verses don't give us the permission to be lazy, passive, or irresponsible. That's not the point of the psalm. That just chill. It'll all work out. This too shall pass. That's not Psalm 127. Of course, God calls you to faithful work, to expend your effort at whatever He calls you to do. The point of this wisdom psalm is this, that your effort is never enough because you're not hardwired to go it on your own. Even in a perfect world, Adam and Eve, perfect people living in a perfect world with a perfect relationship with God, no sin, no weakness, no failure, they were still completely dependent on God for their life, for their understanding, for their choices and decisions. I like the psalm, what the psalm says. What good does it do to get up early and stay up late if it all ends up in anxiety? When it's God who gives faithful rest to those who trust Him. I want to ask you this question. Do you have trouble sleeping? I don't mean if it's a physical issue. Does anxiety, worry, concern interrupt your sleep? Maybe that's because you are trying to load all the burdens of life on your shoulders. Maybe it's because you're trying to go it on your own. I know there's my temptation as a parent to wake up in the morning and load all my concerns about my children in a backpack and carry them with me all day, when really my children are in the hands of the Lord. Whatever you're facing, whatever work God has called you to, it's important to understand you were not wired to make it on your own. That God is your keeper, and He builds with you. Are you trying to make it on your own? Do you trust the Lord on Sunday, but live independent the rest of the week? May we trust the ultimate builder.